Feeling Terrific, the podcast about mindset, different perspectives, and talks with interesting people. Hi, my name is Christian Ter. I'm a recruiter in the IT industry. Glad that you're here and a warm welcome. Welcome for another episode on Feeling Terrific. Today I will be not the only host, I will be a co-host because I have my first interviewer guest with me today. It's Annika Lazauskas. She's a sales development representative at ServiceNow, and I'm very grateful that you took the time. So thank you for being here.
Hi, Christian. Thank you so much for inviting me. What a nice intro.
Perfect. Yeah, so obviously I created an intro up front, but obviously I didn't use it. So it was an authentic intro for our conversation today. No, but again, thank you for your time. And I'm glad that we have this conversation because I think it kind of scratches a little, not just a little, but a few interesting topics which we will see in our conversation. But as the title already entails, studying and a full-time job doesn't work, right? And therefore, meet Annika. So maybe let's start right into it with the first question. So the first question is, how did you get your job and how does it fit into your longer-term plans?
Yeah, of course. So as you mentioned, I'm sales development representative at ServiceNow. And to be honest, I think longer-term plans are, part flexible for me and part planned. So I started as an project manager at a website development agency when I started my studies. So I didn't start with ServiceNow when I started my dual studies. And I figured then out that I am very interested in sales because at that time I did a lot of upselling and I kind of got into it. So I decided to, focus on my sales career. And that's how my current job is fitting into my longer term plans because I see myself definitely in sales because, as I mentioned, it's very, I have fun with it. I have fun doing it and I can imagine myself doing it. So how did I get my job? I applied at ServiceNow. I think it's a cool company and I got in.
And I think ServiceNow can be also grateful for having you.
Well, that's nice. Thanks.
You just mentioned the word fun. What would you say is the importance of having fun in your work?
I think it's at least 50% of it because if you don't have fun, you are not motivated. You don't know why you're getting up in the morning and you don't know why you're doing it. I think it's a big motivator and I think it's really important. It's not all. I mean, we can't have fun all the time, but I think it's very important.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing your thoughts on this one. So now you talk a lot of companies about the digital transformation, right? So what challenges do you see at your customers?
I think a lot of customers, especially in Germany maybe or in Europe, are not really aware of the bigger picture of the digital transformation. That's at least how I see it. They are thinking of it as a project that goes from, today to in 2-3 years. But I think what it really is it's an ongoing process. It's not like you transformed your company and then it's over or it's only in the IT department, for example. I think it's a bigger picture. The whole enterprise is involved. And yes, as I said, it's an ongoing process. And I think this is a big challenge for our customers.
Yeah. No, so you just also scratched it a little bit, but so from a customer perspective, right? But what would you say does digital transformation mean to you?
I think it touches, for me personally, it touches all of us. It's you have it in your day-to-day life as well as in your business life. You have it when you wake up in the morning and see a message to when you, order an Uber, for example, or order something at your workplace. So it's, our life is transformed in a digital way. And as I mentioned, it's a bigger picture. It's an ongoing process. It's not something that it's done and then, we're all transformed. So it evolves by the time. So I think for me personally, it's my day-to-day life.
Got it. Thank you. So you've been with ServiceNow for so far for 1.5 years, plus minus, right? And I assume quite successful. So I'm really interested in this question, especially more in the answer from you. So because it's objectively or logically quite subjectively. So when it comes to success, what kind of environment do you need to be successful?
I think team environment is everything for me, especially. I think having a great team, knowing your team resources, knowing who to go to and who to ask for help maybe, or questions. I think this is everything. A team that is a team. To be a team player, but also to get something from a team is very important to be successful.
Yeah, I can only agree with you. I think also when it comes to the team, that's kind of one of the most important things when it comes to success.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have an example for us when it comes to teamwork, right? Where you, I don't know, saw a challenge, maybe within the team or with the macroeconomics or whatever, and how was the team working together to solve the situation?
If I look at my example at sales development, you have so many approaches to talk to a customer and so many ways to get the customer talk to you and actually answer you. I mean, you know it as well as a recruiter. You talk to a lot of people and a lot of people don't answer. And then you have several different approaches to get to talk to your customer. So I think it's very important to have this knowledge exchange to, for example, I have a new topic that I want to bring up to potential customers. How do my peers do it? And how can I, gain something from this information and from their success? So I think exchange of knowledge is very, very important because there's not just one way to approach a customer. As you already also know it, maybe in recruiting, there's not one way to do it. So you really need to be creative and exchange thoughts and exchange success stories. So and of course, the other part is in a technical environment like ServiceNow, it's really important to exchange knowledge for the technical part, because I'm not an IT developer. So for me, it's sometimes hard to understand our product. But when you exchange knowledge, I think, that's when the team is very important.
Yeah. You also just mentioned knowledge sharing, right? And I I can assume that knowledge sharing is also some kind of has something to do with self-awareness and self-reflection. So how is it for you when you, for example, talk to a colleague and you are getting a different perspective, different ideas, etc.? And how do you take it? And for example, if that's a better approach, what you did get, how is your thinking process when it comes to self-reflection in that sense, if that makes sense?
I'm not sure if I got your question right, but I'm going to try. I think you can only gain from other perspectives, especially in sales. I think you can only be more successful when you get other approaches and other sides and other sides of view. And when I have a colleague, for example, who tells me, this and that worked better for me, try it this way, I think you can only try and see for yourself. So does that answer your question?
Yes, kind of. And it's an authentic answer, and that's what I'm grateful for. So thank you for that. Maybe that's a good question for that part. So we've also done an apprenticeship, right? So how did you decide to do a bachelor's after that? And also why part-time?
Yeah. The honest answer is I wanted to keep my possibilities open or have more possibilities in my career. Of course, there's nothing wrong with just doing the apprenticeship or Ausbildung, as we say in Germany. And I did it at a publishing house. And for me, it was very clear from the beginning that I don't want to stay at a publishing house at that time. And I really want to have more possibilities and maybe go the more digital way and go more into a digital environment. So that's when I decided to put a bachelor degree on top of my apprenticeship. And I decided to do it part-time because I really like to work practically, to get my hands on and to start working as I did 1.5 years at my apprenticeship before, and I really liked it, to go into the office and to work. So for me, it was clear to not only study theoretically, but also do something practically. So I think it's a good, how do you say? It's a good arrangement to do it part-time.
No, perfect. No, I think we are quite similar in that regards, but also I'm thankful because now I don't have to ask my next question, why the media marketing and digital media space. So thank you for making that worthless. So
Sure.
that's a good opportunity then for our next point. So how was the time when you studied alongside your full-time job for you mentally?
Yeah, that's a good question, because when you start, you don't really think about the mental part. So I like that question. It was sometimes, I think it was, different. It depends from time to time. I think there was a time at the beginning, especially when it was all a bit easier and you just started studying and you're really, really motivated. And then comes the time when the motivation sinks a little. So you have to motivate yourself, and that was mentally, it was hard to motivate yourself and work at the same time, and then have a lot of exams. And it was during the COVID, the hardest lockdown, and you still have to study and work. So that was sometimes not easy, but. Yeah, then you can see the end of the tunnel at the end of the study, and the motivation goes back up. So, it was up and down.
No, so congratulations, first of all, for successfully completing your studies, right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. How do you have an example for us where you had kind of a deep, if that makes sense, and how you turn yourself around?
As I mentioned, the lockdown, the first hard lockdown was really, hard on everyone. You are only at home, and all your studies is just online, and you go from exams to essays, a lot of it. So you have to change your setup a bit and get used to the whole new situation. So I think this was very hard. But also, of course, the last couple of weeks when, the bachelor thesis, and it's a lot of, the workload is very high. And to be honest with you, to get out of it is just seeing the whole purpose of it all. Just remind yourself, why are you doing it? I really want to have this degree at the end, and quitting was not an option. I really wanted to do it, and I want to have this degree. So trying to motivate yourself, and I think the motivation is all.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good point. What you've just mentioned. Try not to lose the focus on the bigger picture. Yeah. And with that, everything comes around.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what kind of qualities, especially skills, did you learn or also sharpen? And what role do they play for you today?
I think time management was essential in prioritizing your work and prioritizing your social life, of course, and your studies. It's all about making priorities and seeing again the bigger picture. What's important? Is it the exam next week? And then I have to maybe study more, or if I don't have anything going on in my studies at the moment, then of course I have to balance with social life, because if you only study and only work, then again, the mental part is very heavy. So this balancing of priorities is really important. And I think not only for studying part-time, I think it's every one of us has to balance priorities, or I don't know. I don't want to compare myself to parents. I mean, they have it maybe even harder. So everyone, I think, has this balance of priorities, if you can call it like that.
Yeah. No, I mean, you also just mentioned, right? Everything is, subjectively and relative. So, but you're absolutely right. So you've also scratched it already, but what do you think was the key to really be, successful at the end in completing your studies?
Yeah, I think again, this prioritizing and time management, it's actually really important to really know what you have to do and when it has to be done, day to day and on a day-to-day basis, but also bigger picture and week to week. So make these priorities straight and make a list on what to do. Like time management is key.
Got it. Thank you. So when you think about what you accomplished and also learned during the time, would you do it again? And if yes or if no, why?
I would definitely do it again. I think for me, it was the perfect balance between practical like work and theory. I would do it all. I would do it all over again. Maybe not now. I don't want to start again, but I would really, really recommend it because, as I said, you have the perfect balance and you learn so much, not only theoretically, but also on your skill set and on your mindset. What I mentioned before, you learn how to manage yourself, you learn how to prioritize. And I can see it even now that I'm done, I think 2 months now, I still making mental lists in my head. What do I have to do in my work, and what has to be done next week, and does it really have to be done now, or can I do it tomorrow so I can have, I don't know, some social life today. So that's balancing.
Yeah. No, I mean, when you study part-time and having a full-time job and then social life also, as you mentioned, right, you have to juggle. Now without the studies, you have social life and a full-time job. So isn't it interesting to see when it comes to prioritization and so on? I mean, the nowadays jobs basically are even becoming more heavily involved with new things on the one side, but also when it comes to the volume. And it's I think you can be really happy and also thankful about it to have done this journey. I would say you will benefit from it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you're talking of experience as well. I know that you've done this part-time studying and working as well. So yeah, definitely.
So we both will benefit then.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. No, so maybe let's have a little bit, more closely look, to you, right? To you as Annika as a person. So you've also done au pair engagement. So I'm interested. So how did your au pair engagement come about?
For me, it was clear that I want to go abroad after high school. I really wanted to go somewhere very far away. So I chose Australia, the farthest country from Germany, maybe. And also what I liked about being an au pair at that time is that you are far away, but you have still like a fixed income and a fixed job. You are what I really what I admire about, for example, work and travel is that you are on your own and you travel and you are looking for jobs on the way. But at that time, I really wanted to have something stable, if you can call it like that. But yeah, and also I like to work with kids at that time, and I think it was a great experience.
Yeah. So when you would need to think about, so you have to think about 3 words, how would you, or what kind of words would you choose to describe your experience best?
I would say words is really hard, but I would say social life. I got to meet a lot of people, a lot of interesting people that I'm still in touch with today and became one of my closest friends nowadays. Responsibility. Even if I lived at a family's house, I was responsible for a child and also for myself, of course, for the first time after school. And sunshine.
Thank you. Maybe let's add on it. So you've done this experience, and you've also just mentioned that you gained a lot of experience, perspective, new thoughts, etc. What kind of impact did it have on you long term? But also when it comes, how was it quite formative of Annika? That makes sense.
You mean the abroad experience, right? The industry. I think what it did with me definitely was that I had to be in a social engagement on my own for the first time, because in school, you have your set of people or set of classmates, and you don't, you become friends with them or not, but you have just a set of people around you. And there, for the first time, I had to meet new people and make a social environment on my own, and then maybe also discover who I am as a person when I am meeting or introducing myself to strangers. Does that make sense? Because in your school, you're your school personality and you're half a child still, but there you have to meet new people and out of context, if you put it like that. I don't know if it makes sense, but you have to be on a different social skill level than in school before. Yeah. And you have to react to different kind of people. You have to, on the other hand, be in a maybe job relationship with your host family, but also in a, I don't know how to call it, but in a parent situation. No, that's too much, but in a nanny situation with a child. So it's, I think it's formatting your social skills. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, I totally got it. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but if I would say it has to do with personal development, with going out of your comfort zone, with proactive approaching of situations you didn't have before, and also with self-awareness and adaptability.
Definitely, you just put it in a nutshell. That's what I tried to do, but you got it.
Perfect. No, thank you for sharing. So I also did get it at the end. So you would, definitely recommend it to everyone who is, thinking about it.
Yes, definitely. I mean, not only the au pair experience, I think not starting to study or work straight away after school is a great idea. And if you can do it abroad, why not? I think it's a great experience.
Yeah. So you're at ServiceNow. You're also in charge of the coordination between the Münchner Tafel and or Munich Kitchen Soup, if I'm not mistaken, the English word, and ServiceNow. So how did it come to this engagement of yours, and what is your kind of summary so far?
Yeah, that's you're correct. That was kind of a coincidence, to be honest, because I was engaged with the Münchner Tafel before. At ServiceNow, we have the possibility to do social work or to volunteer for 20 hours a year, which is great, by the way. And we have one possibility to help out at the food bank in Munich. And that's what I did a couple of times. And the person responsible for it at that time, she just wanted to pass it on and to rotate it a bit. And she just asked me because I have been there 1, 2, or 3 times. I can't remember anymore. So that's when I said, yes, of course, I want to do it because it's a really great opportunity to do something outside of your usual work and to help out if we have the possibility to do so. And it would be really a shame if if we would let that possibility to help out slip away. So I said, yes, of course I will do it. And so that's when it started. And
Still enjoying it, yeah.
Yes, of course.
No, also thank you for your engagement in this area. That's very important, and thank you for doing this.
Of course.
You also mentioned in the beginning of your statement for this question that it was kind of a coincidence, and I think also that you've learned a lot during your coordination engagement with the Munich Food Bank.
Yeah.
What would you say when it comes to coincidences? What are your thoughts about it? Do you think that's helpful sometimes or sometimes not? Or what do you think about coincidences? Maybe not just in a professional point of view, but also when it comes to personal life, or maybe both.
That's a good question. I think coincidences, if you take that chance and if you take them and if you really can acknowledge a coincidence for your benefit, it's a great thing. And sometimes a coincidence becomes something really great that happens. I mean, it's also if you, apply for a job when we go back to business, if you apply for a job you see especially this job and you want to do it, and that's a coincidence and it becomes something really great. And I think if a coincidence comes along and you take this opportunity, it's a great thing. Not sure if I answered your question correct.
You answered it quite well, and I'm also thankful that you took the coincidence when I asked you to be my first guest on my podcast. So that's a good one.
Yeah.
But we're almost at the end, and I promised you there will be one question, which is kind of new for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, is there anything what you would like to mention what we didn't cover today?
That's a good question.
The best for the end.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm obviously about to mention is that it's a great thing that you're doing here, Christian. I think it's a great podcast, and it's very fitting that you are doing it. I think it says a lot about you as well, that you took the initiative and are doing this podcast. So thank you very much for inviting me. This is what I definitely have to mention, but not really sure. Do you have any more questions?
I don't, and just for the listener, that wasn't my intention when I asked the question, right? But thank you for sharing your thoughts.
Yes, you're welcome. No, I mean, it's a great thing to be in this podcast, and I think you covered a lot of topics, and you did a lot of research, so that's good. And yeah, I'm curious for your next episodes.
With that positive ending, I would like to say thank you for your time, Annika. I really appreciate our conversation and also your authentic and transparent thoughts. I really do.
Thank you.
Hope to see you soon.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. I hope you took something out of this episode, and if not, let's try next time. Thank you for tuning in, and speak soon. And if you have any feedback, let me know in the comments. Stay true to yourself and have a terrific weekend. Your city.